Welcome back, beloveds, to the initiation, a sacred journey to catalyze, liberate, and illuminate your sacred purpose. I am here now opening the portal to the third offering in this sacred journey, Illuminate, living your sacred purpose. And I'm honored to be here as the gate guardian to open the portal in this moment to bring us deeper into the journey that we have already been walking on together. And so in this moment, I am feeling guided to bring us together as a temple of sisters, a temple of light. Each one of us standing as an incredible pillar of light all across our planet. Every single one of us here called present now to bring the essence jewel of who we are and to be able to shine that out into the world, to be able to illuminate from within the specific frequency that each one of us has, like an energetic thumbprint. And so I want you to imagine in this moment that all over the planet, there are sisters standing up, unveiling themselves, demasking themselves, taking away the old debris that has been dimming down the illuminated, gorgeous magnificence of who we are. And that as we do this, we begin to stand in resonant harmonic frequency with one another. And so the vision that I've been holding is of this circle of sisters across the planet creating this sacred geometry, standing on nodal light points, lighting up like a rainbow bridge of light, emanating from the collective that we are. We are being called in this sacred journey now to claim, to reveal, to unveil the sacred luminous essence of who we are, the jewel, the illuminated being that lives as a divine human within this form. And so I invite you right now to join with me in entering this portal. And so I light these candles in recognition and remembrance of our holy, sacred vessel of the divine that we are, the light that comes from within, the light that is at the center of our hearts, that is shining from within us, and that joins us together as this one light across all time and space. That we are now here being called forward to illuminate the beauty, the divinity, the vulnerability, the tenderness of who we actually are. And so I place this candle upon our altar, and I choose to ring the tone to open this space, to open us into coherent field of love and connection. And so I ask that you take this in, and that as you enter this temple this day, you are willing to unveil the beauty of who you are. That you be willing to enter in and empty of all that is ready now to truly be laid down, that you may claim that essence being who has been waiting to reveal herself to you. So let us enter in together to this holy, sacred space. And as you walk in the door this day, my beloveds, I am greeting you in such love and recognition and remembrance. And I am anointing, anointing your third eye, anointing your heart and your crown and your hands and your feet with this magnificent rose oil, awakening the heart of remembrance of the sisterhood of the rose, awakening the heart of remembrance of our sisterhood, awakening the jewel at the heart of the lotus, in the center of the rose, that is anointing our bodies in remembrance and raising the vibrational frequency with her vibration. The rose having one of the highest vibrational frequencies of any of the flowers. And so I greet you, and let us raise the vibration, alchemically speaking, that we may feel the presence of the splendor of who we are as individuals who are fractals of the collective amazing beauty that we are. I welcome you. So now that we are here, beloved ones, I want to take a moment to locate with us where we are in this amazing journey. We began with catalyze, opening to your sacred purpose. And we received the mystery school teaching of your life is the initiation. And I invited you to embrace that alchemical principle that is asking us to come into 100% responsibility for the life that we are choosing to live. And from there, we unpacked, and there were so many comments and sharings about how life is showing up as a challenge and initiation and what that's bringing up for healing. I then invited you into the second portal of the journey, liberate, focusing your sacred purpose. And here we felt into all of the masks, all of the old debris that Kali Ma is coming to help us liberate with. And we met her as the three faces of the goddess, the creator, destroyer, preserver. And we began to feel the power of what it is to be in a direct embodiment practice with one face of the divine feminine, and how her presence helps to connect us more deeply into the truth of who we actually are, revealing that essence, challenging us to see and feel what is real and true. And so now we arrive at the third gateway, illuminate, living your sacred purpose. And so in this sacred offering, I am inviting you to come deeper again, my beloved ones, to travel further down this path and this journey. And my invitation is going to be into another core sacred technology that is designed and presented to you, offered to you as a jewel for you to begin to connect back in again to the essence of who you are. I'm also going to be inviting us to meet and to come face to face with 12 other faces of the divine feminine. We just encountered one in the last offering. There are 12 other faces that are part of the journey in the 13 Moon Mystery School lineage, and every single one of those faces offers a sacred, powerful portal into healing the ways in which we have disconnected from and lost the knowledge of our essence, the internal gnosis point. And so as we travel now together, I'm going to be inviting us to feel into the jewel that lives within every single one of us. The magnificence of the peacock tail feather, the magnificence of what happens when we choose to show our true colors. So before we open this portal deeper, I want to take a moment to introduce myself if we are meeting possibly for the first time. My name is Elaine Kalila Sophia, and I am the gatekeeper and the focalizer of the Priestess Presence Temple. And I happen to be an ordained priestess of the 13 Moon Mystery School lineage and a lineage bearer of that work. I'm also a trained psychotherapist and a healing activist. And I am sitting here holding this energy, holding this portal open, because I know the power of unlocking our ancient sacred lineages, our priestessing lineages that go back for aeons, and bringing them alive into remembrance in our cellular bodies, in our knowing, literally embodying the goddess. I know the power of that, and I know that it is through each one of us choosing that we begin to be able to be the difference on the planet, where we begin to actually walk in a new paradigm. And as we do that, we create that around us. And so my passion is to bring all of us into this remembrance, to be a nodal point of mirroring and reflecting to you your core beauty, your divine humanity. And I can just feel it in my heart as I connect into that field of resonance that can just bring tears up in me, tears of recognition and remembrance of what's actually real here. And dropping away all of the masks, all of the places that would be in the way of us seeing the truth of who each other are, and being completely in awe of the divine innocence and the power of the presence of that being that lives within you. And so I'm here to invite us to go deeper into feeling the resonance of that beauty that is within you, to allow it to be illuminated. Because I know that there's no greater gift than that. I know that that is what changes things. That's what transforms things. That's what it means to walk as a priestess on this planet. Choosing love is to constantly unveil and reveal ourselves, to not hold back the force of love that wants to flow through us, but to become one with it, and to remove the impediments, to transmute the obstacles, to know what it means to come back to the truth of who we are. And so are we ready to enter in to this portal now? Let us take a breath together to center ourselves in our hearts and to empty our minds out even further, so that we can truly receive the light food, the vibrational medicine of this next core sacred technology. Listening with our hearts and our wombs. So I want to bring us into the core sacred technology for this offering, which is this: your essence is your purpose. Your essence is your purpose. When you truly start to take this in as the light food that it is, you realize that you are here as a gift, and that there is nothing that you have to try to be or do in order to be good enough. When you can consciously remember this, there is nothing that you actually have to do or prove in order to step into that sacred purpose. It means that who you actually are in your essence being, beyond your personality, beyond the masks, beyond the parts that we put on, beyond all the credentials, beyond all the labels, beyond everything, that it is the frequency of who you actually are, that divine innocence that is your purpose. That's why you came here, to bring that energy into everything that you do. It is the primary state. And when we truly can grok this, when we can come into the vulnerability, the tenderness to sit back and say that your essence is a jewel of such magnificent beauty, and that your only real job in being here is to unveil it, to remove the debris and the obstacles in the way that have been dimming it down, to polish it, to hone it, to follow the path that brings you closer and closer and closer to it. Your essence is that aspect of your being that is connected into your divinity, your divine innocence. It is the jewel inside of you that has never been broken, never been damaged, never been violated. It is a part of your being, the eternal spark of your light that has always been within you. And as you choose to alchemize everything that is less than that essence, everything that is not true, that you have accumulated, like plaque on the teeth, right, over the lifetime that we've been here, and we begin to exfoliate that away, we begin to alchemize it through our loving attention, we begin to reveal this luminous essence that is tender and fierce and playful and spontaneous and creative and joyful and blissful and powerful. And it lives in every single one of us, and it has its own frequency. And you, beloved, have your own frequency. Now, our major resistance to this, and I remember this, when I first came to this realization and received this as medicine, that my essence was my purpose, the reaction I had was, well, that can't be enough. Who I am is not enough. And the idea that I don't have to prove myself in order to be loved, or I don't have to work really hard in order to be good enough, or to succeed, or to be okay, or to look for the validation, or to try to be something that's lovable or adorable, right? All the trying and efforting that I was doing in my own life, right from a kid up through my teenage years into my 20s and 30s, all that trying was exhausting. And what it was actually doing was it was shellacking over my essence. It was making me think that who I actually was wasn't good enough. And I know that this is the epidemic. I've heard it from all of you who've been watching and listening into these offerings over and over again, just how prevalent the issue of self-worth and the issue of not being good enough is. And so our essence being shining inside of us, it is our job. It is our task in this lifetime, should we choose it, to become the master alchemists, the goddesses who, through our embodiment of love, through our willingness to face into the shadow, to face into what's not real within us, and choose to love it back into alignment, we become the vessels that are polishing these exquisite gems and offering it out into the world. And when we do that, we start to live in alignment with that. We start to create in alignment with that. We start to offer ourselves as vessels to continue that alchemy. Your essence is your purpose. It's the tune you came to play, the signature frequency you came to emit. And the clearer that you can do that, the more on point you are. It's the dance that came to be danced, the breath that came to be breathed, the song that came to be sung. It's all of that that wants to move through this vessel into creation. And the more clear that this vessel is, the more it's able to allow that energy, the archetypal energy, the bigger energy, right? The larger than life brightness that you actually are, to shine through you. I am a mirror illuminating that within you in this moment. I know that's who you are. And my greatest joy, the reason I came here, was to shine that light through me to you, that you may remember that you are also that. It's so much more joyful when we're here together in remembrance. So there are 4 very simple steps that I want to invite you into that can help ground this sacred technology of your essence is your purpose. The first is for you to breathe. And I want you to feel this first step is to look for anywhere in your life where you're trying to be something, where you're trying and efforting, where you're pushing, where you're coming from a place of I have to be something in order to fill in the blank, be loved, be good enough, be successful. where you are truly operating from a part of you that is not listening to that essence. And it could be one of those old stories that we've already located. So you might want to go through, the steps from the first offering and the second, literally looking at your life as the initiation. And then where you're being asked to let go, what you're being asked to let die within you. And keep repeating that. So breathing and slowing down, feeling the efforting, feeling how you're moving away from your truth. Okay, so they're the first two steps. The third step is to come into your center and to feel what your essence says to you in this moment. What does your essence being actually say to you? And it may be an image or a word or a symbol. When you connect into that place, that there is nothing that you have to do in order to prove your worth, that your worth is your birthright, and that your essence is a gift. How does that feel? Does that feel true to you? Can you feel the ring of truth within you? Can you? And the fourth step, in listening to that essence in this moment and connecting with it, is to notice how you feel in your body when you connect into that divine innocence, that spark, that gem. How do you know that's what's talking to you, that's what's breathing you? I know when I'm there because I'm in the flow like I am right now, like I'm in my joy, I'm in my absolute joy to be here with you, to feel this movement, to be this vulnerable and this open and this with you. Even though I may seem to be, however far away we are in real terms, in this moment, I feel your presence with me and my presence with yours. And there is this divine play and energy being released and love, because there is nothing to hide. There is nothing to hide. And this naked truth, the relief of that, is so the liberation to let this be here and to know that this is why I came. This is why you came. And it looks different for every single one of us because no one of us is the same, beloveds. I've watched so many women. I've witnessed so many women come into this beautiful place of allowing their essence to shine through. And every time it is as if I'm awestruck by the beauty, touched beyond belief in my core, by the power of what that essence in every single one of us has the capability to manifest into form on this planet. And so I know that that's why we're here. I'm thinking right now of a sister whose name is Sarah Jenks. And she's been working in this 13 Moon Mystery School lineage work with me for some time, deepening into these archetypes. And I've witnessed her come into contact with the different faces of the goddess. And as she has done so, she has remembered who she is. And this is a sister who used to be completely obsessed with what others thought of her, with being palatable, being the good girl. She inherited all of these beliefs from her family system of who she was meant to be in order to be good enough. And she set about doing that in her life and proving herself. Sound familiar? Well, at some point on her journey, through accessing these divine feminine archetypes, she began to realize and recognize that there was a whole aspect of her essence being that she had never even met. And it came in the face of the primal goddess and the wise woman. And she began to access into this primal goddess energy. And I remember when it was when she was pregnant and she gave birth to her first child. And she came to see me afterwards, and it was as if she had awoken within herself this primal energy that was moving through her and awakening this desire to be out in the world, to be in her truth, her essential nature, to be connected to the natural world, to the primal instinctual, to be drumming in nature, to be free, right? And this was so different to who she thought she was. And as she began to embrace that aspect, she also came across the wise woman archetype who was inviting her to drop out of her mind and to come into her heart knowing and to access her wisdom that wanted to move through her. And so as she began to, open the portal of these two divine feminine goddesses, she began to discover her essence in a new way. She began to contact into a part of her that had a yearning to offer herself to the world in a new way. And these energies started to speak to her about how she wanted to actually live her life, what kind of work she wanted to do, and she was called to change her direction. And what's beautiful about her journey is to have witnessed her beginning to tune into what she really wants. And what it turns out that she really wants is not to live in the city and to be lipsticked and glamorized up, although that's an option always, right? But truly she wants to live in the woods, and she wants to run circles for women, and she wants to get down and guttural and real. And that's where her essence is pulling her. And I've been feeling that with her and seeing that beauty, as I do with so many thousands of other sisters, as we encounter these gateways that offer us the opportunity to come to know who we are, to remember who we are. So I'm breathing with you right now because I want to feel with you where we are in this moment. Because maybe some of you are saying, well, how do I know what my essence is saying? How do I really connect into it? How do I learn to trust it? How do I learn to and remember to open to it? Right? What does it even feel like to be really in my truth? How do I know when I'm in my truth versus when I'm in my wounding? And this is at the core of the sacred initiatory journey, is being able to feel what's real for us inside, to hear our truth, to feel it, to have a recognizable state where we can feel that's what's true for me, where we can feel when we're in the essence flow, and to begin to have the sacred practices and the sacred technologies that can help us come back to that when we get thrown off. So I want to share with you the sacred map that is the heart of this alchemical journey. Over and over again, as we have been traveling together, you have been called to clear away that which no longer serves you, so that you may reveal the luminescence of the essence of who you are. And the gateway we're now at is to enter into those divine feminine archetypal mysteries and be initiated into the sacred technologies or tools that, if you choose to pick them up, are here to transform your life. Once you embrace the simple yet profound practices and tools of this path, you can experience that connection to your essence. And this is how we change from the inside out, and then everything in our lives, our relationships, our work, our spiritual life, all begins to shift. Your life is the initiation. Your essence is your purpose. And once you step into this, you really begin to line up with the fire of your Shakti and be available to run that through your being to create what it is that you truly came here to be in this world. So this is the sacred map to reveal this essence. As I've said to you, there are 13 archetypes of the divine feminine, and these hold the mystery to your essence. They are the challenge points, the portals of entry, the initiation gateways that you are invited now to enter into to connect with who you truly are. And so as you follow these steps, I want you to begin to feel how each one of these archetypes lives within you. Some you will be familiar with, and some will be less familiar to you. Notice that. Our essence being is housed in the archetypal realms. It's symbolic, it's imagistic, it's the language of dance and poetry and mysticism. It's the language of flowers and smells and scents and sounds, right? And so these 13 temples that we're about to journey into hold the keys of transformation as a journey through life and death and rebirth, each one holding us accountable to the truth of who we are. So, let us take a breath together as we begin this journey. We start by entering into the temple of the Great Mother who says, I surrender, I receive. I am the energy of unconditional love and support, and I am here to heal and alchemize in you any wound of scarcity or not enoughness, any wound of not belonging or of feeling separate from or disconnected. I am here as the energy of the Great Mother who is holding you always. And as you enter my temple, I say to you, I am here in unconditional love for you. And as you choose to feel my support, you will know that you have never been alone. And you will never be alone. For I am always here within you, holding you and loving you. And from her sacred temple, from the Great Mother's burgundy flame, we enter into the next portal of the Goddess of Compassion. I recognize, I seed. And in her temple, we are invited into the heart of all compassion that forgives everything, that forgives the most impossible hurts, that forgives everything in self and in other, and truly sees that there is only one of us here, and that the embodiment of compassion is the ability to transmute anything less than love out of judgment into acceptance and oneness. And the Goddess of Compassion embodies through us as the ability to melt separation and to see self and other and say, I am that. I choose to heal the aspects of me that have judged and separated and that have been unforgiving and holding resentment. And so as we pass through her gateway, her medicine is to bring us to the embodiment and alchemy of compassionate forgiveness. And from her temple, we feel the movement through now into the temple of the priestess. And so as we come into the temple of the priestess, we feel the cool sapphire blue energy and the stillness who says, I amplify in silence. And in her temple, we encounter all of the wounds to our inner sense of intuition, our ability to connect with that great void within us, from whence everything arises. The priestess awakens our remembrance of our ancient lineage gifts and heals the wounds of our disconnection and our mistrust of ourselves and our inner gnosis. She heals the trauma of the separation from our sisters and the separation from our ancient lineages. And she offers that gateway to reconnect back to the alchemy of ourselves as the vessel of all love coming through us. The alchemy of stillness. And from her temple, we enter into the fiery fires of Kali Ma, the creator-destroyer, who you have met. And in her liberating fires, we are called into accountability for what is real, to liberating all that stands in the way of us showing up in the essence of who we actually are. And here we learn to trust again in the cycle of birth, death, and life and rebirth. We learn to trust in the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth as that constant cycle. And we are willing to live in that rhythm and to be fiercely committed to the freedom and the alchemy of non-attachment. And so feeling her energy, we go around the wheel of these archetypes and we encounter the next Lady of Communion in her temple, and we call forward the energy of green and gold. And we feel her presence in I intend, I empower. We feel our connection into our motivations, into our intentions, into the higher purpose that we came here to be, into the sovereign queen who holds us accountable to our integrity and our impeccability. And we face into the challenge of cleaning up where we leak our power, where we still refuse to hold coherency of power. And we enter into the realms of authentic standing in our power. And we enter into the realms of authentically standing in our power and what that feels like. And from her temple, we move again to the temple of the muse. The muse, the divine innocence, the divine child, the one who plays and spontaneously creates. And here we heal all the wounds that our inner child has experienced, all the ways in which we have shut down to her voice, her playfulness, her ability to create and let go of and create again. And we go into the alchemy of play and the frequency of the dolphins and the hummingbirds and the turquoise and that sparkle of life that is available and here now in naked vulnerability and tenderness. And then we come into the temple of the goddess of love and her frequency of pink and her ability to bring us to the edges of intimacy and what is comfortable for us. She asks us to melt the shields that we've been holding around our hearts and to come into the alchemy of intimacy with self, with other, with divinity, with life itself, entering into the feeling of all connection, all love flowing through us with no barriers. And her medicine, her challenge is to see how we turn away from love. And from her temple, we enter into the portal and the temple of the primal goddess, Shakti, fire, shooting from her eyes, the energy of wolf and snake and panther, pulling us into alignment with our essential selves, our instinctual selves, our passion, our sexuality, our eroticism, the parts of us that live on the edge, that don't play by the rules, the wildness, the freedom, the parts of us that yearn to howl at the moon. And through her alchemy, we come back into contact with our essence instincts. And we heal the shame in our bodies that has put us out of connection with the raw power of who we actually are. And from her temple, we enter into the cool purple energy of the initiator. I challenge, I clarify, I align with my sword of truth. And here we are asked again to face into life as the initiation, to see all the ways in which we're being called to come to truth, to prune away again, to crystallize yet again in the alchemical journey that which no longer serves. And we get really real with ourselves, feeling what it is to be real and coherent, and to be in alignment and impeccability and integrity with why we came here. And from her temple, we move again into the temple of the wise woman. I simplify, I resonate, and her simple heart knowing, and her simple heart knowing, and the accessing into the staff of wisdom that is the simplicity, the crone who sits at the crossroads, the one who asks us, are you finally willing to lay down the wounds and to pick up the gem of your essence and to live in that resonance simply, the quintessence of who you are, leaving behind any self-doubt, alchemizing that. And then from her temple, we move yet again into the temple of the dreamer, weaver, grandmother spider, weaving reality through into consciousness. And she says, I dream, I connect. I am the aspect of you that's calling forward the visionary, who can see through lifetimes what it is, the thread that you are meant to weave into this picture. And she heals the wounds of the disconnection from the bigger mythic story that you are here to walk. The aspect of you that is being called into being now is held by the weaver dreamer. And then from her temple, we pass again into the black temple of the Queen of Death, who says, I trust, I release, into the darkness. And we face yet again the fear of letting go, of all that is coming to completion, of all that needs to be let go into the void. And she says, are you willing to trust and release into the unknown? And here we face all of our fears and are initiated into all the places where we are not willing to trust life. The alchemy of death. And then from her we come to the final face, the 13th archetype, the alchemical goddess, who is every face of the beautiful pantheon, who sits in the middle and encompasses all and says, I am union, I am freedom, I am grace, I am ceaseless change, I am impermanence, I am that within you which is ephemeral and never to be pinned down into form. I am free here now to be fully expressed in all faces of the divine, in all frequencies. And so I can feel in my own being, having traveled this alchemical journey from Great Mother to Queen of Death, to the alchemical who sits in the middle, every portal offering the deep, potent medicine as we bring these frequencies into us, to embody them, to begin to allow them to shift us alchemically on a cellular level, right? And this has been a lightning tour of these 13 faces, that in Avalon, when we had our ancient priestess lineages, we would spend 1 year in each temple, fully serving the goddess in that form. And here now we are being guided to offer this material, to awaken this remembrance into this form where we are catalyzed and liberated and freed and illuminated in this very fast way. There is a rhythm that has arrived at this point that we are all being initiated into, that is timeless, that is open to all of us to embody this, to illuminate this. All faces fluidly moving, fluidly expressing. And so I want to invite you to feel this in you in this moment. Which of these faces of the goddess, as they were spoken, pinged in you? Which ones did you say, I don't know her? Because each one holds keys to unlocking the journey to the alchemy of the essence of who you are. And that is at the center. Imagine accessing into the depth of each one of these teachings to fully embody that within your own being. That is what it means to walk this initiatory path. So we can feel this journey as a cycle, right, of the divine feminine opening a portal for us to connect with the wound that separates us from our essence and offers this opportunity to heal this by having a direct experience with all the faces of the divine feminine as she lives within you. So as you step through each one of these initiations, you're offered a chance to face your core wounds over and over again, to see what's no longer serving you, to be catalyzed, to be liberated, to be connected more deeply into your essence, and to become illuminated from that place. So over and over again, we have been through this story of polishing the essence jewels that live within us, to clear away all that's in the way, so that we are able to express this more fully in the world. And this map that I've shared with you, this is a continual lifetime curriculum that as you work with it deeper and deeper, it supports you to continue to embrace the challenges as initiations. And then it offers you this simple, deceptively simple, yet profoundly powerful way to work alchemically, to transform the stories, to transform the Negredo into the essence of who you are, so that you can stay connected to the stream of your essence and move more authentically and be more alive, more intimate, more connected to yourself and others, more able to listen to your heart knowing, and to build a world that is more coherent as an outpicturing connected to how you feel on the inside. And that's been my experience. To truly build this temple is an outpicturing of my internal yearning to be in intimate connection with you, to be intimate connection with my sisters, so that we can change how leadership feels on this planet. We can change and transform how our schools look, how our governments look, how our institutions look, how everything looks and feels, because we're being guided from this place. And we are so rooted and anchored in the truth of who we are that we are shining that out into the world. I know the power of who you are, and I am committed to that journey of unveiling that within you and within myself. My loves, this has been such an amazing journey. Sharing this catalyzing, liberating teachings with you has been really moving, and I can feel all the ways that this has already been supporting you to transform how you see yourself and your life. And it's been challenging you to look in new ways and opening up opportunities for you to heal and to get greater clarity and connection to your essence and your sacred purpose. And that's in truth why I put this series together. This whole journey was inspired as a response to what I feel is needed in the world right now. It's my deepest devotion and service to be a lineage bearer. And it's been an initiation for me to really offer this to you, to really quintessentialize some of these deep mystery school teachings, and offering you a chance to benefit from them in this kind of format is really new for me. So I know in my heart that what the world really needs is for each and every one of us to be in remembrance of who we are, and in so doing to be a bridge so that others can remember their presence as a gift, remember who they are. And I know that the more that we choose to do this, the world will be changed by each one of us. It is changed by each one of us as we choose to walk as love. And I know from all of the deep sharing that's been taking place in this community, in this sisterhood, that you have already been transformed, and that you already might have a sense that this is really resonant with you, that this work is really speaking to you on a deep cellular level. And I know that I've only been able to offer the very tip of the iceberg of what is a complete system of mystery school lineage work. But what I want to say to you is that if you have resonance with this, and that you feel that you're being called into this work more deeply, into the 13 Moon Mystery School lineage work, then I have a really incredible invitation for you, which is this. I myself and the Priestess Presence team in the last few years have been honing and deepening into the most powerful and potent way that we can offer this priestess initiate work in an online format. And I have to say that we've come up with a beautiful, integrous, excellent, brilliant way to do that. So stay tuned, my loves, because on Monday, we are opening the temple doorways to the Enter the Mystery Circle, which is a 9-month initiatory journey into these deep mystery school teachings that we have been feeling and working with in the last 3 offerings. Now, I want to let you know that the temple doors are going to be open just for a few days, because we're creating a tight container around this initiatory journey. So if you're being called to step in, we want to hold you in accountability to becoming really clear about that calling, and then holding you as you step over the threshold, if that feels in resonance and alignment for you at this time. So this next video offering will be an amazing gateway. It's going to offer us the opportunity to continue to embrace everything that we've been experiencing here together, choosing this as a path to liberating your life force, so that you can truly live and offer yourself in devotion to serving the planet, unfettered by all of the old stories. And so this last offering is called the initiation. Aptly, right? So now I would love to hear from you about your experience here. What has pinged you? What are you feeling most inspired by? What's challenging you? Which faces of the goddess do you feel are calling you at this time? And what is their medicine for you? And what is the resonance that you're feeling with this lineage as you have continued to deepen here? And I would love it if anyone is moved to create a collage or words or images that really expresses your essence. That would be a really great gift to receive from you, your essence, as you are connecting into it right now. That jewel, if there's any way that you wish to share that with us, be it through a collage or a song or a poem or even a video, I would love to meet you in that place. I would be honored to receive the gift of you, truly. And so we are at the end of this offering, and I have been blessed to be with you. And I look forward to seeing you in our last video offering, the initiation. And until then, I will be here connecting with you all in this thread below the video, continuing to share our hearts and to celebrate the essence of who you are. From my heart to yours, many blessings.